Everyone, welcome to Stamp and Craft. I'm Shannon. Today we're going to be working with the June Hero Studio collection. We'll be working with the June card kit as well as the layering stencils of the month. So these are the two cards we're creating. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. We're coming in at a different time, or a different day and time, actually both are different than we normally do because we have a convention coming up next week that I will be away for. So we bumped up our live a little bit, but everything you see today, all the June Hero Studio products are still available, so you can purchase those. The instructions that I will be following along for these two cards are up on our Hero Arts blog, so you can check that out. Gather those supplies. If you're watching this on replay, you can get that all set up and then watch the video. But if you're just here to hang out with me, I saw you, Rosie. Hi, drive safe, my friend. If you're here joining me today just to kind of follow along, thank you so much. But we're going to create two cards, and we're going to bounce around a little bit because of drying times. Hi, Beth. Welcome. And you can see I'm probably getting sweaty already because it is hot. Very, very hot in Arizona. We are full. It's full summer now. I'm going to go ahead and change my view to my desk view and we'll get started. We'll kind of see the two cards and I'll explain how we're jumping around a tiny bit. Let's move over. Oh, I got to change this camera. Here we go. There we go. Woo! Take that camera off my face a little bit. It's going to be hot. Hi. Oh, yay. I'm glad you're crafting along with me, Cheryl. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so these are the two cards we're creating. I'm going to just adjust this here just a bit. That looks better. This one that features the June card kit. There is a awesome stamp set included in the June kit. There's a bunch of dies as well, but I will be using just the stamp set for this card because I just love the images in that set. I love kind of creating little scenes. Hi, Rachel. And then this is the second card we're creating with the layering stencils. Now you may not be able to tell from the photos, but you might be able to tell here now that I'm holding the card and kind of turning it. This card has Hero wax on it, so that's a texture medium. That's going to require some drying time. Nope, we're going to have a kitty pop up here. Let's see how he does. If you don't know, I just recently got 2 new kittens, and you know what? I think this cord, I'm going to have to move that. Otherwise, he's going to bounce the camera around. Maybe I can do that without causing too much trouble. I have to move that just like that. Okay. Yeah, this is Oliver. Oh, you're packing. Oh, you're going to Phoenix? You're coming to Phoenix probably right when I'm leaving. And I'm sorry, it's going to be unbearably hot for you, but you know very well the heat of Phoenix, Rachel. This one, oh, I'm going to have to move them. This one uses wax, which will take some drying time. And this one, we will be stamping and doing a lot of Copic coloring, but I do like to let the ink dry a little bit before I start Copic coloring. So we will stamp this first, and then we'll actually move on to this card and do a couple of the layers, actually all the way up to the wax, and then we'll go back to this card and color. So a little bit of bouncing around, but that's just to allow for drying time because it won't take too long to dry that wax if we got to get it done. Fostering 4 kittens. Oh, it's awesome. They're locked out of the room. Yeah, he doesn't normally come up here, but clearly he's doing it today. We'll see how well I can stamp with him. Otherwise, I will have to move him. Sorry, little guy. All right, I did have some white cardstock all pulled out here. Let's see if I can find it. So the first thing I'm doing is just going to stamp the images from that Summer State of Mind stamp set included in, or part of, rather, the June card kit. Where is it? Here it is. Here it is. Here's that stamps. Here's my paper. I have it over here. Oh, and by the way, I forgot last month's Stamp and Craft. I did not forget today. So I do have over on the side here behind me the July card kit of the month that I will sneak peek at the very end of this live. So if you are here for that, I did remember this time and I do have that ready. Hello, friends. Welcome, welcome. As you can see, I have a help today. We're going to stamp a bunch of images. In fact, I'm going to grab the card because I can't remember all of them. The flowers, the hat, and I apologize, I have a sneeze coming. Apologize for being sniffly. The blanket, the baguette, sunglasses. I mean, I stamp almost all of them. The shells and let's see. Got sand dollar, starfish, scallop. So all those shells. It is so much fun, Rachel. I really enjoyed this kit. I really loved playing with the images, and I loved that kind of East Coast theme or feel that everything has. Very different. I feel like very different. Because I'm more used to the West Coast, being from Arizona, and I just love the different feel of this set. Camera, the photos, the scarf. What else? There's one more thing I think I'm missing. Oh, the champagne. Oh, and the sandals. That's it. And that'll be everything. So a bunch of images. There's even a whole bike on this set. Oh, he left. Yes, he's a nice boy. He left. He decided he was not getting his pets, so he went to greener pastures. Oh, you couldn't wait, so you stamped and colored and die cut. Wow, Cheryl, nice. I mean, they're so pretty. All right, so I have all these images. Let's get them arranged here and we'll stamp them. I'm going to use Hero Arts Intensify Black, which is a waterproof as well as a Copic marker friendly ink, which is good because we're going to be doing some coloring with our Copics. Of course, you can use any alcohol markers you have. If you want to watercolor these, you can do that as well. Just want to make sure you use watercolor paper or Bristol paper. I've started to watercolor some of my images again. I haven't done it in a long time, and I just started doing it more. And I've really enjoyed the process. And I'm kind of thinking, why have I stopped watercoloring? I feel like it goes so much faster than color with my alcohol markers or my Copics. So you might see me do that more of it today. Oh, so Donna says her hubby just brought home 2 5-week-old kittens from the litter. Oh my gosh. One's an orange tabby. Oh, how exciting. We have 2. We got 2 as well. And they are brother and sister, which I'm assuming yours are too, or at least siblings. I just re-inked my ink pad, and that makes me look like it's going to be kind of bad. So I'm going to try to move that ink around a little bit. I've never had 2 kittens at the same time before, and they are such a joy to have. They play with each other. They entertain each other. I do have an older kitty too. And at first, of course, they did not get along, but she was not mean. Just kind of like, don't be around me sometimes. Hiss every once in a while. But now they're getting along pretty good. Now she won't play. She's never really been play that much, but she will kind of like groom them. So, and they love it. But it's nice to have them together because of my elder kitty. I think she would be really annoyed with these kittens because they are high energy, and she just does not want to play. You know, she does not want to play with them, and they would be trying to play with her all the time, which even now they still do, but not that bad. They're not trying to play all the time. And we'll grab my scrubber and stamp this a couple times. And ink it up and stamp it again. I bet they're lots of fun, Donna. I bet they're playing and just a joy to have around. we've been really, I have 2 little girls too. And my daughters have really enjoyed the kittens. That's been really fun for them to have such kitties with such high energy and wanting to play. And because our older kitties, which one has recently passed away, just didn't really want to play. They do like pets though. They do like pets. All right, I think I just need to stamp this camera one more time. It looks a little, that solid part of the camera looks a little not completely black. All right, there we go. I take it back. I have the purse to do one more time as well. I love seeing all these images stamped out like this. I should have done more backgrounds. I think they look so fun, almost like just as a background, kind of randomly placed and then stamped. I know Natasha made a card where she stamped them as a background. You now have 6 kitties. Oh my gosh. We have 3, but I could see myself getting more. I really could. They're a lot of fun. They're really a lot of fun to have. That's really honorable that you're rescuing them, Donna, or taking care of them. All right. Well, that's clean-ish, clean adjacent, I'd say. You know, I really should use as my scrubber. Let's do that. Let's clean them proper a little bit. We finally have some Hero Arts Ultra Clean in stock, but I haven't gotten any yet. It's been out of stock for so long. That's my favorite stamp cleaner. But this one isn't bad. The other one is the Hero Arts Ultra Clean is a spray, which I like a little bit better. But this one by Ranger is good too. But the scrubber block, I have one that I use to clean my stamps and one that I use to actually like help me stamp. Use it like a Chucky tool. So great. Boy, girl. My kitties are boy, girl too. My kittens are boy, girl. And he's getting so much bigger than his sister. It's surprising to me. I've never had a boy cat ever. I've only had girl cats. And they were the same size when we got him. And now he's not double, but he's definitely a third bigger than she is. All right, let's put these here. And he's really, really social. She's a little bit more standoffish. She doesn't hide or anything, but she just doesn't like come and see what you're up to like he does. Okay, we're gonna let that dry. Again, I like to let that intensified black ink dry a little bit before I start Copic coloring, which is great anyways, because we need to move on to the second card, or the bonus card rather. That's probably a better way to describe it. Because we need to ink blend some of those layers so we can get to the stencil part. Or I'm sorry, the wax, so we can get to the wax part and let that dry. Because we actually are going to do ink blending on top of wax. This is something I discovered a couple Hero Arts kits ago. I think the Christmas one with the cute little animals that were kind of like coming out of presents, or I think stockings, a teacup. That cute release, or that cute card kit came with a wax. Maybe it didn't come with the wax. I can't remember if it came with the wax or I just used the wax a lot. But that's when I discovered you can actually ink blend on top of Hero Wax and it will stay. It'll be permanent. So I thought it was a very cool discovery. Now I do think it matters what kind of ink you're ink blending on top. I'm going to be using Hero Arts Core. The Hero Arts Core inks are either dye or hybrid, so they're a mix. You will know when you pick up an ink and you look at the back. So this is, and I apologize for my cover because I accidentally got some alcohol on this, so don't get any rubbing alcohol on it. It'll take the label off. But this is Hero Arts Core ink. It used to say Core. Let's grab this one here. Core. And this one's Fawn, obviously. And then when you flip it over, at the very top, you'll see Core ink, and then it'll say dye formation, or it will say hybrid. This one's dye. I know I have a hybrid in here too somewhere. The pine is a hybrid formation. So depending on what core ink, I think it just varies depending on, I think it's to achieve a certain color. Hello, Pamela. No worries. Welcome, welcome. Okay, we're gonna set that aside. And let me grab that card too, so you can kind of see, we do some ink blending on top of this hero wax, and you can see it. You can actually see the centers of the flowers, and I love that. And I love trying to do white flowers. I think it's a little unexpected in card making because usually we're adding color, and when you're adding color, you're not making it white, except for heat embossing, but that's not for your images. So I love white flowers. I love to try to make white flowers, especially with dark backgrounds. Okay. Oh, you got your kit a few days ago. Yay. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm going to do the stencils on top of a panel of Waterfall. So this is Spellbinders Waterfall. I just want to double check that's the right color. Name. Yeah, Waterfall. Totally correct. And I have a tray here to kind of keep things clean. Here we go. Put that down. And let me grab my stencils. I guess I didn't get those out. Here it is. Here they are. So these are the June Layering Stencils. And they are all labeled. Let's see, I got them out of order, so let's put them back in order here. 2, 1. Okay, so stencil 1 is actually going to be our wax layer. So we're going to do that not right away. We're going to do that almost last, but not quite. We have the centers to do last. So number 2 is one of the center layers for the flowers. That's going to be after the wax is dried. Number 3 is the leaves. That's what we're actually going to start with. And then number 4 stencil is the flower centers and the leaf stems. We will do the leaf stems now, but we will do the leaf, but I guess they're veins and stems now, but we'll do the centers later. So we'll start with this, stencil 3. So you actually start stencil 3. I'm just going to eyeball center. I'm looking at the space between my panel and the edge of my stencil, just eyeballing center because I am using an A2 panel. I'm not using a larger panel. Let's grab some tape here. And you know what I should probably do actually is put my panel down with some tape runner. Oops. Oh no, are we out? Oh, geez. So I just put a little tape on the back side. I'll probably have to readjust this. But that way my panel doesn't move around on me. Like that. There. Stick that down. Obviously a grip mat would be really good. Mine's put away and I need to get it back out again because that's so handy for stencil. But we'll just use tape for today. Yay, I'm so glad you can craft along, Jamie. Yay, we're finally getting things figured out. It's such a slow process. I appreciate you guys being patient with figuring out all the transition and shipping, new software that they're using. And then there's the box gate. And oh my gosh, it's just been one thing after another. But we're finally, I think, getting there. All right, we're going to start with Green Hills. It's just a light green. And you do not have to use these exact colors of inks. I'm going to use basically 3 shades of ink, a light, medium, and dark, starting with my light first. So even though there's only 2 stencils, we will do multiple greens. So we can create some gradations, because that's one of my favorite things to do with stencils is create gradations. It's very easy to do and adds tons of depth. So first just going to ink blend this green hills all over. Okay, keep stencil in place. Now we're going to move on to fresh lawn. Now this is our medium green. I have a slightly smaller blending brush here. Oops, let's get that guy out of there. I'm going to load up my brush, and I'm going to just ink blend the tops of the leaves, or where the leaves would meet the stem, which is really the widest part of all of these leaves. That's going to be ink blended with a little bit of this fresh lawn to create a beautiful little gradation. You can see already it's a little darker. Oh, I love doing this. It adds so much depth, and it's so easy to do. I'm ink blending the stems a little bit too, just kind of happening naturally, because I can't, my brush is a little bit too big. But I'm not worried about ink blending all of the stems with this darker green. I'm okay with some of them are lighter. These little stems are tucked in between the flower buds of these hydrangeas. There we go. All right, I think I'm happy with that. Calling it done. Okay, so I can remove the stencil. So we did the light green and the dark green. Light green, or not dark green, I'm sorry. Light green and medium green for stencil layer 3. And we're actually done with that layer. Look at how pretty. I'll hold it to the camera so you can see the gradations. I have to hold the whole thing up. Look at how pretty they are. So pretty. Okay, now we're on to stencil 4. So I know we're doing these out of order. This is like the out of order stamp and craft. Now you can, I'm gonna line these. It's pretty easy to line the stencil layer up, because you can line up the veins of the leaves with the leaves. And there's some stems that you'll just line up with the stems. So pretty simple. Oh, and we got V, our other kitten here, being a little vocal. She's quiet, but she does talk a lot. For this stencil layer, we're going to use the dark green, which is pine. Now, you can ink blend the centers. We're going to try to avoid it, but it's totally okay if you ink blend some of the centers. I'm going to mostly try to avoid it, but I'm not concerned if I get some of this pine in the centers, because that's going to get covered up with our white hero wax. So I'm using that smaller one. And just ink blend all the, basically all the leaves, or I shouldn't say, well, yeah, all the leaves and the stems. That's it. And yes, you will probably get some of the centers, the flower centers, green as well, but that's totally okay. We don't need to worry about that at all. And I'm going very heavy-handed with this pine, because I really wanted to show up. I want a nice contrast so you really see those veins. All right, I think we're almost there. All right. Yay, Rosie. Rosie, I love Rosie's got some beautiful cards. I don't think she's shared it yet, but she used I think she used wax, and I was blown away. She used wax, and if you don't know, Rosie's on our creative team. She used wax and transfers. Rose, that card's so pretty. I love it, and it's so cool. Yeah, it's fun to use some of the mediums, huh? Get some of that texture mediums in there. It adds dimension, shine in this case, because the Hero Wax is a little bit, has like a metallic-y shine to it. Almost pearlized, kind of like shine. And we get white flowers because it's very opaque. All right, so here is what we have so far. You can see all the veins. It looks great. Beautiful gradation still on those leaves. I love it. I love it. It looks so good. Okay, I'm just going to move some things out of the way. Now it's wax time. Okay, so this is where we're going to get a little dirty. I've got my white Hero Wax here and a palette knife. I do also have, oh, Rosie said, because I got to read what Rosie said because I was curious how she did it. She says, yes, transfers and wax. I watered the wax down a bit. And that's something new that Rosie taught me, is you can add water to the wax. And I've seen her do, she's told me she's used it to splatter, and you got to see the card she's got coming out. I think, Rosie, when's that card coming out? Did it come out already? Because if it's up on the blog, you got to go check it out. It's so cool. Kind of like a new technique. I love the way it looks. Kind of a mixed media look, but very beautiful. And I personally would never thought to combine wax and transfers, and it's just so cool. Tomorrow, yay! So you got to come over and check out the blog tomorrow and see Rosie's card. I love that. That's really quick. Okay, so we're going to line this up. This one's still pretty easy to line up because, again, we're not using the registration marks because the panel's too small. I'm just going to line it up to the flower centers that I kind of ink blended and the leaves, using that all to help me. I think that looks okay. So I'm going to put my tape down. I think we got it. And if this arrangement of hydrangeas, when you're all done, isn't centered on your panel, that's okay, because we're going to trim this panel down so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfectly centered on this A2 panel. Yeah, you got to see it, Pamela. It's so good. All right, I'm going to grab some of the Hero Wax. You can see how kind of metallic shiny that is. Oh, this is so good. Love this stuff. And we're going to place it down. Start moving it over. Going for a thin layer. Obviously, it wastes less product, but also it dries faster. So I'm going to try to get it thin. You can see how much a little bit goes a long way. That's another great thing about the wax or the texture mediums. It really doesn't take too much because the stencils are so thin. Do need a tiny bit more though to finish up this last spot. That's too much. Even that's too much, but we can put back what we don't use. And I do have a bowl of water down here under my table to toss my stencil in. So I can clean it later after the live because I'm not going to clean it right away. And I also put my palette knife in there as well. There we go. All right. I think that's good. A little bit of excess back. I'm going to give this a little spritz with water. It's kind of what I like to do to kind of help it last a little longer. A little spray with water in there, and then I'll close it up. Put my palette knife in my bucket. Let's remove the stencil, and we'll do the same. Or my bucket, my bowl. Oh, it turned out so good. Look at that. Look at those white flowers. Don't they just pop on top of that blue cardstock? I love it. I love it. I just think it's a little unexpected and so pretty. Okay, this needs to dry. I am going to take it off of the, it has a better chance of drying flat if I remove it from being stuck on this. Remember, I put that double-sided tape down to kind of hold the paper down while I ink blended. I'm just going to release it from its stick and let that set aside. But look at how beautiful it is, and it has a beautiful shine because it is that wax, and just so cool. Really pretty. And you could, I really think you could stop here, but again, since the wax, you can actually ink blend on top of it and it'll hold that ink. And it's especially true for anything that's not water reactive. Anything that's not water reactive, it's going to work really well. The Hero Arts core inks are not water reactive. The Hero Arts reactive inks are. So I'm not using reactive inks. I'm using some core inks. I'm actually going to be using Butterbar and Fawn. But we can't do that until this is dried. So let's put this aside and we'll move on to coloring our images. So we're back to card 1. We'll let that dry and we'll work on Copic coloring our images. Everything seems to be going quick. How is that? That's not a normal Channin Live. Usually it's got to be at least 2 hours, right? Well, the Copic coloring will take us some time. I like to have the images on screen, just kind of help me remember how I colored them. But I do have all the color. I'm going to use a lot of Copic, lots of different Copic markers, so lots of different colors because there's a lot of different images. We do have still a fairly small palette, I feel like, but a lot of colors, a lot of markers. A lot of markers. The whole list is on the Hero Arts blog. So again, that's where the instructions are. That's where all the supplies lists are. And I do actually have every single Copic marker that I'm using listed there. Let's start with something. You know what? Before I get started, I do feel like just to make sure that ink is completely dry, I'm going to heat set it. So let me grab my heat tool. Just an added precaution. Okay. Well, I'm going to start with something really simple. Let's start with the camera. I'm going to color the camera pink. Well, we'll do everything we're going to color pink. The camera, the scallop, and one of the flowers. We'll do this one here. So those 3. Our light pink is RV00 and our darker pink is R20. We'll start with our light. Basically color everything on this camera except for the little light here. I'm not going to color that. But very simple coloring. And I forgot to get a glass of water before we started. So hopefully I don't become desperate and I need it. And we'll color this guy here. And this one over here. Just going to do these all kind of together, all these light pinks together. Now move on to our darker pink, that R20. We'll start with the camera and we'll add a shadow here. I got one of these cameras, something like this, like, you know, Polaroids are kind of back in. Polaroid kind of styled cameras. I don't think it, maybe the camera I got her was a Polaroid. I got my daughter one of these. And she loves it and she wants to do a scrapbook. And I love that. But she has her, you know, she's never seen any of my scrapbooks that I have because I didn't actually I stopped scrapbooking before I had children, and I didn't scrapbook when I had children, which is usually when most people start scrapbooking. But nope, I stopped like just before. I also stopped before I got married too. So, and then, well, fell into card making, and the rest is history. Still can't stop card making. Moving on to the scallop. It looks so good already. Look at that. Lots of depth. Going on the scallop. Keeping it very simple. Just going to color kind of the top and the bottom. Okay, creating a little gradation. And I don't really even need to blend this out. I feel like it looks good just as is. Now for the flowers, we're just going to color the centers. Oh, I don't know if you heard that hiss. That was my older kitty saying, okay, I don't want to play. They really are doing better than I thought they would be, even with that occasional hiss. There we go. Okay, that pink is done. I can actually put those aside. I'm trying to see if I have any other pinks. Nope. Okay, let's move on to the greens for the flowers, because I feel like, oh, real quick, we'll color in that light. There's that flash that I left light. I'm going to grab a really light blue. I think I only use this. I'll use this on the flash and the sand dollar. It's BG10. It's very, very light blue. Ooh, and he's so juicy. I keep forgetting. I refilled him. I overfilled him, and I need to do something to rectify this, but I still have not. I keep forgetting that that's the case. We'll just color it quickly. Little bit of the blue. Clean up where it spilled. And now color the sand dollar. And we're not going to color the whole thing. I don't want a blue sand dollar. I'm just adding a little shadow. So my go-to for white, shadows on white, is this BG10. I prefer a blue shadow as opposed to like a gray. So, oops. Oh, well, he might end up blue because my thing is so full. He's going to definitely end up more blue than I would like. But you know what? That's just, I really need to fix that. Try to take, I don't know what I'm going to do. Just taking a color out of this blender and trying to pick up some of that blue because it got a little out of the hand. But I don't hate it. It's just a little bit more blue than I would like. All right. Good news is we're done with that blue. Okay, let's move on to, oh no, the green. So for the leaves, it's the same green we're going to use for the champagne, which is a dark green combo. And it's 3 greens, YG63, YG67, and G99. So light, medium, dark. Start with that light. And I definitely don't need 3 greens necessarily for the leaves and stems because they're small. Usually find you need more colors to create that smooth gradation when it's a bigger surface area that you're coloring. Clearly the leaves and stems are a very small surface area. But I do sort of need it for that champagne bottle. He's not huge, but he is a pretty big flat surface area. And a bottle really does need to be as smooth of a gradation as you can possibly make it. Okay, and I am going to try very hard to not color the there's like a glare. Let's see if I can hold it up or highlight right there. I'm going to try not to color that. So laying down the base. I really don't need to color the whole bottle because it'll go in the bag, but I'm going to. That's our light. Now moving on to medium, YG 67. Starting at the base of the leaves, so where they meet the stems, and using that feathered stroke. And I'll do a little on the stem, not completely color the stem, but add a little. And I'm one of those people who like to color then die cut, but I do understand the logic of die cutting first and then coloring. Just the downside is that you have these loose die cuts and they're harder to color. But the plus is you didn't color something you didn't die cut correctly. So if you die cut poorly or the die shifted or something, you can just not color that one and stamp another one. As opposed to when it happens to one that you colored on, it can be kind of frustrating. Usually I'll try to use it. So for this champagne bottle, I'm coloring making it darker on the sides. So both sides, both left and right sides. This one I do think I need to blend it out a little bit with my lighter color, so I'm going back to YG63. Just blending it out a little bit. I'll do that to the leaves. Okay, last is our dark green G99. Just going to add a little bit to the sides. I don't think I need to blend this one out. That looks great. And just going to add a tiny bit to the leaves. Probably a little overkill. Again, I don't need 3 for those leaves. They're kind of small. All right. That's dark green done. Let's finish this flower. We're going to move to orange. 2 colors to pick it out, or 2 markers rather, to pick out for the orange, YR00, YR02. Starting with the light, kind of color the flowers. So I am born and raised in Arizona. Hydrangeas, I think, and I don't know if it's just because I'm an Arizona girl and they don't grow here. Not even up in the mountains. I've never seen a hydrangea bush here. And maybe there is one, but I've never seen it. I think they're one of the prettiest flowers. Hydrangeas, peonies, roses. Those are my favorite. I'm going to color in the centers real quick. Do I have anything else in orange? Let's color the other orange, which is, we're going to do the sunset and the starfish. Keeping that light color first. I love coloring these images. They really are starting to look so good. Coloring the sunset. And now time for our darker orange. Coloring those centers, just a little bit of that darker orange in the center. We do have pretty flowers though in Arizona. We're not completely devoid of pretty flowers. But I feel like it's one of those things, the grass is always greener, right? Very pretty. They live in north and southeast. I'm sure the Midwest too, yeah. They're so pretty. All right, and I added a tiny bit to the sunset, and there's our orange sections done. Kind of just like picking sections to color and going for it. We've got all the shells done, believe it or not. Let's do the photo since that's unfinished. Well, let's finish the we'll kind of finish the photo and the champagne bottle, but starting with the champagne bottle. So I have 3 yellows picked out because I'm attempting to color gold here for that champagne bottle top, that is. Y15, YR23, and then a brown, E35. So those are the 3 colors we're going to use. I'm going to start with the yellow. Pamela says, I grew up in the mountains of North Carolina and they were huge. Oh, I can't even imagine. They're so pretty. And we'll use the same color too for the little sun. I'm just going to use that color for the sun, and that's it. And then YR23. Start to color in the sides. Oh, it looks so good. And then a brown, E35. I think the brown is what can really makes it look gold. Let's see if I can get it to focus. So pretty. I'm not even going to bother to color the label because that is going to be tucked into the bag, so we don't even need to worry about that. Let's move on to the pictures. Oh no, I just realized that the Polaroids are going to need some of my overfilled light blue marker. Darn. All right, well, I have that here. He's dangerous. And then we're going to start to color some blues now. There's a lot of things that are blue. So the water is obviously blue. I color the back Polaroid blue. There's blue in this bow on the hat. The scarf has blue and the sandals have blue. So there's a lot of blue here. And we have kind of 2 blues. I have a light blue and a dark blue combo. So let's start with our light blue combo, which is B12 and B93. This is going to be used to color the water. So coloring the water, and I'm going to color our scarf. And trying to see what else. We'll color some of the stripes on that beautiful ribbon that's around the hat. So every other stripe I'm coloring with the lighter blue. And I think I'm almost done here. I'm trying to be careful staying in lines and not color the wrong stripe. All right, this will get the B93 for a shadow. I'm going to color the bottom of the water with that, create a little gradation, and then add a little bit to each one of the bottom of each stripe. I almost feel like the camera's moving, but I can't tell. It should not be moving. All right, and then this is where it gets a little tricky. We're going to color in, trying to make it folds and the folds and the knot of this scarf look realistic. So I'm going to add the darker blue any place where I think would be in shadow. So coming where the knot kind of tightens up at the center. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to blend it out. Ooh, Donna has a tip. Take both ends of your blue marker when it's using it until it calms down. It will help level the ink and reduce the pen from squirt. Oh, okay. Thanks, Donna, for the tip. I need it. It's making me nuts. That's very helpful. I appreciate that. All right. Okay, let's try. I'm going to hold it up. All right, that's all I'm going to do. And I'll have to do what Donna suggested later. And let's see now. Now we're on to our darker blue combo, I think, because that's kind of what we get colored back here, and the other stripes and the sandals. All right, dark blue combo. And I'm just going to pop back over to my instructions just to make sure that I have it right. Yep, B23 and B97. Okay, just wanted to make absolutely sure. So B23 is the lighter of the two. Let's start here with this. Ooh, it's pretty. I think I will take a little bit of our lighter blue for this one and blend that out a tiny bit. Okay, but I'll just use the 23 here on the stripes. Oh, I love these blues together. They're so pretty. And let's color these sandals. Or at least the fabric part of them. Okay, now onto our darker B97. I'm going to first color the photograph or the Polaroid. Now I'll do all the stripes, just coloring the bottom part. Camera is moving. I think it's my cats. How are you guys walking by and making that happen? I don't understand. And time for the sandals again. Again, thinking, kind of approaching this the same way that I approached the scarf, where I want to add any place that will be in shadow. So any part of fabric where it's overlapping or where it's tightening up in the knot. I don't want to color the whole knot. Let's see, I can zoom in. Just bits and pieces, just the ends of each little section, where they'd be like tucked into each other. And I will blend that out a little bit. So back to the B23. I think I only need to blend on the scarf or on the sandals. Perfect. All right. Those are done. Let's move on to all of our tans. I have a lot of tans. Put the blues away. Lots of browns and tans. We're actually done with the green. Oh, we're not done with all the greens yet. I take that back. He's actually green. But we'll move on to the sandals because I try to kind of finish one thing before I move on to the other. The sandals are a dark brown. I'm going to pop back into my instructions and just make sure. They're going to be E31 and E35, which we did use earlier for the champagne. Move that down. There we go. Start with E31. How cute are these sandals? I would wear them. And then E35. Just going to color kind of from the center out. That's what I'm thinking it'd be darker. A little bit in shadow because of that strap over. Rosie said she'd wear them too. Me too. Somebody needs to make them. Somebody needs to find them. I feel like they exist. Oh, I'm making a camera move, but how? I'm not sure. Yes, I am. Weird. Okay. I can't blame the cats. It's me. You guys are innocent. I'm sorry. All right. I want pair in every color. I agree. Something else gets dark brown. The bread. The bread gets dark brown. So color everything first with E31. But I'm not coloring those cut parts of the bread. Do not color those. We actually will color those with a lighter tan combo. I'm going to turn this around like this. I'm just going to color the edge of the bread with this darker bread, using that feathered stroke again to kind of help get a nice gradation going. Oh, they're not getting along at the moment. Blend it out a little bit. There you go. Okay, let's move on to our light combo, our light tan, which is 3 colors. E51 is the light, E30 is the medium, and E31 is the dark. We're going to use this combo for the hat, the bag, the bread, and actually I'll probably bring in some the darker brown for some of the plate parts of the bag, some of the details. But let's start with the bread. E51, just color in those openings. And I'm actually just going to use E30. I'm not going to go all the way to 31 on this. E30, which is our medium. Let's move on to the hat. Bread is done. Color the hat with that E51. Elodie is not having it right now. She's not, whatever the kittens are doing, she's not into it. It does say pick it. Oh my gosh, I would love an outdoor concert. That's I'm going to miss one of my beloved things to do in the summer here in Arizona, because summer concerts are not really a thing. Not in where I'm at, which is Phoenix. This is E30, going to add in some darks. Is go to a bluegrass festival. We have to drive up to Prescott, so it's only like an hour drive away. The temperature drops 10 degrees up there, so it's still warm, but The festival happens in a shady area right by the courthouse. It's completely free, and we just sit out there on a blanket and we picnic and we play games, and it's one of my favorite things to do. Moving on to my dark now, E31. Just adding a little darker shades here and there. By the ribbon is where I'm adding it, so it looks like it's in shadow. Kind of at this top part of the hat where it might dip in a little bit. I think we're good. But unfortunately, I'm going to miss the Bluegrass Festival this year because it's this weekend and I have to go to the, which I'm excited and happy to go to, but I'm going to a card making retailer event. And so I won't be able to go to my Blue Fast Festival, which I'm sad to miss. Happy to be going to the event, but I am sad to miss my Bluegrass Festival. Why did they have it happen at the same time? Is that how it always is? You can use the same combo, 3 combo of tans for the bag here. So we are going to attempt. Now, the bag has this beautiful woven pattern in it. We're going to attempt to emphasize that. I'm going to go straight to E31, which is my dark, and I'm going to do my best. So the pattern, let's see if I can hold it up. It's kind of zigzaggy. It looks almost like fish scales, but it's not quite, I can't really get to pick up, but it's almost just a long zigzaggy line. I'm going to follow along that line with my dark, but I'm being careful just to use the very tip because I just want the tiny bit of that dark. I don't want to completely lose my light. And I might not color absolutely all the way up. I might skip some spots, especially where the pattern's very tight. And I know if I would color it, I will lose a lot of the light tan. Just a little here and there. That little bit of darker color will add the illusion of texture. So I'm going to keep going with this. I mean, obviously the printed design makes it look like it's textured, but this will help it look dimensional as well. But the key is not putting too much of it down because you need that contrast. If you lose that light tan, you won't have that contrast. And then now it's just a darker, flat flat patterned bag. You won't have that look of depth. All right, I am almost done. I'm going to color the sides completely, though, the sides and the bottom. Okay, can I hold up so you can see where we're at? So yeah, it looks a little textured, right? A little less flat. Okay, for the rope, we're going to take that E51 or 31, sorry, E31 rather. Color that top rope. And color the little decorative part here. Now moving on to our darker brown, which was E35. I'm going to add a little shadow to the handle, a little shadow to the top rope detail of the purse, and completely color, I don't know if they're fasteners or what they are, but those little accents at the end of the handle. Good luck with that. Thanks, Barbara. So kind. All right, we're almost done. Lots of coloring, but we're almost done. We have the blanket and the sunglasses. Now, the blanket's a trickier one, and I actually do need to pop back over to my instructions just to make sure I have all the grains picked out. So we have a light olive and a dark olive. Actually, I say olive green, and then I actually just use olive green. That's what I say. But what we'll do is kind of from this combo, we'll make a light and dark. Nope, I gotta get the right marker here. 94, okay. I'm gonna pop back over. Okay, so thank you, Rosie. That's so kind. I struggle with my color palette sometimes. I really do. It's hard for me to do muted, and this needed a muted palette, and that was hard for me. That's not my go-to. All right, we're going to do YG91, YG93, and then G94. So a light, oops, let's actually get it on camera. A light, medium, and a dark. We're going to use the light combo. Let's grab the, you can see we have light olive stripes and dark olive stripes. So we use the two lights, I should say, let me start over again. We use the light and the medium for the lights, stripes, and then we'll use the medium and the dark for the dark stripes. So even though there's 3 colors, we won't be using all 3 of them for a stripe. We'll be only using 2. Starting with YG91. You can actually color this whole thing if that makes it easier. You don't have to pick out your stripes quite yet. Which ones are going to be light and which ones are going to be dark. Okay. Just lay down that base. Color the tassels as well. Okay. Now with our medium shade, YG93, I'm going to pick out some stripes to make light, and then we'll start from the sides and color inward, but don't color all the way in, using that feathered stroke to just kind of create a little gradation. That's actually a light stripe. And I'm going to move along, continue to pick stripes out to color to make that are going to be light. We'll do that little stripe there. It really doesn't matter which stripe you do, just pick some and commit to them. And that there. And I'll make this big part of the roll there. All right, that's it. Now for that medium shade, we're going to completely color the stripes that we want dark. So color the whole stripe in. So these ones should have no gradation on them. guess we do. This one will be light. Mr. Light one here. All right, now our dark, that 94, G94. Just color in the sides of those darker stripes. And I definitely didn't do the best job staying within the lines, but it's okay. Got a little sloppy. Blend some of these out a little bit. All right, I think we're on home stretch here. I think the blanket's the hardest, just because the stripes are so thin and you have to like pick which one you're going to make dark and which one you aren't. For a reason, I think that's the hardest part, is deciding. Coloring that part. All right, I'm going to color the ball part of each tassel with the dark olive or G94. And that is done. Okay. Yeah, I like the champagne bottle too. It's so cute. All right, there's our olivey blanket ready to go. And the glasses are super simple. Just some grays. We'll start with our light gray combo, C1, C3. Color in the actual glass part of the glasses. And then the C3 on the sides, just to add a little shadow. And then our dark gray combo is C5 and C7. Starting with C5, coloring the whole frame. And then we'll take that C7 and add, kind of color the back part of the part of the glasses that go behind your ears. That should be kind of in shadow. And then just pick some areas to add a little bit of the darker. Okay. That is done. All of them are done. Woohoo! We can actually kind of wrap this card up. First thing we gotta do is die cut everything out. You know, I forgot to stamp a sentiment. I should do that right now. I should have done that before and I forgot. We're gonna stamp the girls just want to have a son. Where did the stamp set go? Here it is. So we can die cut that out too. Oh, Barbara, you're too kind. Oh, you guys are so kind. It's pretty easy coloring. It's not, everything's so small. The images are small. I think smaller images are easier to color. Images that are bigger and they tend to have bigger surface areas that would be like one color. Those are the ones I find tricky to color. Oh, I don't know if I'm vibrating. It looks like we're vibrating because the reflection. That's good to know. Stamping this. I think that looks good. Okay, let's die cut this out. Now, we're gonna do something a little weird for the background. So we're not quite yet done after we die cut these out. We have to do a little bit of ink blending because I just didn't have the proper like cream colored cardstock. And actually I wonder, isn't it cute, Rosie, that it says girls just want to have fun? I think that's so cute. The sentiments are so great. Lately, I've been loving all the new sentiments that we've been getting, the fun puns. I just want to check and see what cardstock I did do alabaster. Okay, well we do need alabaster. And font. Okay, good. I was like, did I change my mind? No. Okay, let's die cut this out. I gotta get some tape because we're gonna have a lot of die cuts to keep in place. After all that coloring, we do not want them shifting on us. Here's the coordinating dies. So let's see. And we'll just be pulling these off. I gotta do this here. I'm gonna pull all the ones off that I know they need, which are a lot because we did stamp a lot of images. And I got my magnet too. I think that's everything. You gotta tape them, right? Otherwise they'll move. Normally I like to try and challenge myself, but I am not going to do it to these Copic color images. And not since I have so many images to cut out. I'm not going to. I usually try to challenge myself and see if I can die cut it without having to tape it, just because I'm kind of lazy. But I'm not willing to risk it for these. I don't want to have to redo them because coloring takes time. Okay. Just keep working my way around. Hopefully I kept enough space between my images. I do hate when I have to die cut it. I have to run it through twice because I didn't allow enough room for the dies. I think I did okay. Ooh, the shoes might be a problem. The shoes are a problem. Darn it. I will have to do them twice. And love that there's sentiment dies. Cannot get enough of those. Oh, Linda's, you die cut everything for stamping. Oh, I'm Misty. Oh, and do a lot of oh, you're so good at that. No worries, Linda. Well, this might be where you catch up to me. This is going to take time for me to do this. That's a great idea to stamp multiples. Then you have a bunch of ones to color. Oh, and just think you could play with color palettes probably a little bit more easily when you do it that way. I love to play with color palettes. One of my favorite things to do. Because I don't really like my knee-jerk reaction that I go with when I color things. Like the first color palette that I think of is not usually the best. Doesn't really, it's usually too loud and just not as pretty. Definitely not as adventurous or unique colors. You know, I'll almost always color leaves green, but I love it sometimes when you see people color leaves different colors. I think that's so cool, and I don't do that. I think if things were, if I had multiple stamped out, I might be more willing to take risks, try a different color, and then go, well, does that work? Does it not work? Oh, well, it doesn't work. It's no big deal. Color another one that I've got stamped. So far, the only problem we've ran into is that sandal. Are we going to make it here at this other hydrangea? To be safe, I think I'm going to cut him out later since I have to cut out the sandal anyways. All right, the die pile is getting smaller. Can't do you, can't do you. We only have 3 more to go. Can't do the camera either. No. Okay. Just keep turning the die till it lines up. It's really my only trick on these sometimes tricky ones to line up, like the starfish. They're not quite sure which leg is which. All right, that's as many as I can fit on there right now. So we're going to run this through. It's going to give this sentiment one last look because it looked like it shifted. Go like this. All right, Linda, enjoy your dinner. It's not quite dinner time yet, though it is 5, so I guess I should be thinking about it, but I am a, what do you say? I guess I'm a meal planner. I'm not a meal prepper, but a meal planner. Like I plan the week's menu and then go buy the groceries and then just choose from that menu for what I'm going to make. So I always have I know when I have food, I know I have recipes to make. So we have food for tonight. Just not sure what I'm going to make quite yet, which one I'm going to pick. Oh, that turned out so good. Love it. Here's our cute little scarf. I love that little accent on the bag. We're going to add it to the bag. But it could be added to the bike. There's a cute little hat. Okay, I have to try to fit these dies back. Oh dear. I probably should, huh? I love, love, love the hydrangeas in the basket or bag. I love that. I think that looks so pretty. Again, maybe because I love hydrangeas. I might be biased. Keep piling. Oh, I think Linda's on to the right idea of die cutting them. You leave your stamps in your MISTI or stamp positioning tool, and then you stamp them again so you can make multiples. I think she's got the right idea. Then you can just die cut them out willy-nilly, no tape needed. After you do that one initial taping. I cannot do that because I've removed all my stamps. I removed all my stamps from my MISTI and put them away, so I cannot do that. Otherwise, I would show you guys that. And I have done lives before in the past where I show that technique, which is typically used for, well, and then that's what Linda's doing too, is mass producing. So you can definitely check out. I think I did it with April's. Yeah, I definitely did it with April's. April's release, April's card kit. All right. We're getting there. But they're so pretty. Look at them all strewn about. They already look cute. Oh, Nantucket style. That's the word I'm looking for. Nantucket style. Absolutely, Barbara. I love the hydrangeas too. They're my favorite. Ooh, Linda has hydrangeas. I'm jealous, Linda. They don't grow here in Arizona. All right, we have a couple more to cut out. Just placed them a bit too close. I'm ashamed of myself for not thinking about that when I positioned my stamps. I could have avoided it easily. No big deal. We'll just line up. I cut them out. I only have 3. It's not too bad. Okay. Run that through. Sandals done. And camera done. I love how the die cuts out the negative space from the tie. Oh, I live for those details. I love them so much. Okay. We are home stretch here. So we got all of our images die cut out, colored and die cut out to create our little scene. But before you do that, we do need to kind of warm up a panel of alabaster cardstock. So alabaster is like a cream, and I think I have it here. I do. There we go. We're going to kind of warm this up with a little bit of ink blending because you see how this is a little bit darker. I want a little more contrast than this shade of off-white. So grab a blending brush, grab Fawn, it's kind of a browny yellow, and we're going to do the lightest blend we could possibly blend. So load up, find some scrap cardstock here to tap off the excess. I gotta have a piece. I just gotta. What are you? This will work. And I'll start ink blending this. Yeah, they are a little tricky. I cannot really tell which one is right or left. I just do what I think is right. What looks best. Not totally sure, but they are a little tricky. Because they're not super distinguishable between left and right. Ay, ay, ay. Should have taped it down. All right, I think that's where we're going to stop. I have a card base here. This gets glued onto the card base. Let's grab some liquid glue. I kind of like to smush it down with my finger so it doesn't make weird marks, I guess. There we go. Now we'll arrange our... I know, Cheryl, they are so similar, aren't they? It could almost be one die, I agree. Start to arrange our little scene. I have my, this is like butter yellow. That's the new in color, butter yellow. I think this is kind of that shade. Very, very light yellow. Do wish it was a little bit more tan though. I'm debating whether I should bring in another shade. I'm going to do it. I'm gonna bring in sand. Going rogue. Here we go. Okay, so I'm using a color that I didn't put on the instructions, but I just wanted a little bit browner and less yellow. So I have sand. Let's do that. And if you happen to have the perfect cream cardstock, use that. I just don't have the right shade. The shade that I want, I should say. This is a beautiful cream, but it's just not quite. This is looking a little bit better. You know, the crazy thing is I think I need like a pink. Like a really light pink. Like, grapefruit. Do I risk it? I'm going to try a tiny bit of this grapefruit. Oh, yeah. It's the last bit. totally went rogue here. With sand, grapefruit. And we'll stop there. Okay, better stop. Oh, it's looking okay. I wasn't sure, to be honest. My original card, I had a panel of cream cardstock that I don't know where it came from. And so I can't use it because I don't know where it's from. Can't tell you where to find it. So I had to challenge myself to ink blend something that was similar. I failed, but I did try. But I think it's going to be okay. It's going to be different, but it'll be okay. It'll still be pretty. So we're just building our little scene. Let's put that down here. Basically going off of what I did before. Cute. Now we just have our seashells. And you're going to need some press and seal. After fussing with it and getting everything arranged, you definitely want to not have anything shift on you or move around. Cute. I love it. All right. Only thing is I want this to be on the purse a tiny bit. Okay. Got my press and seal here. I need to stop messing. Okay. Place it on top. Pick all those die cuts up. There you go. Worry about the sentiment later. Grab some foam adhesive. We're going to pop these up. I have some strips. I'm going to try to connect them as much as I can. So overlap with that, kind of place that foam adhesive in such a way where you're connecting multiple die cuts. It weaves them together and it will make it easier for you to lift this off of the press and seal later, because they're one unit as opposed to a bunch of single die cuts, and it's just easier for the foam adhesive, for you to place the foam adhesive, because now you're not having to cut all these teeny little pieces. You can cut some big strips. All right, I think we're almost there. A couple more pieces. I think those sunglasses need to get okay, now it's time to stick this down. So remove the backing. Use my handy tweezers for that. All right, last piece. It's ready to stick down. Move it up just a tad. There we go. Okay, only that scarf I had lifted. We'll stick him down with some liquid glue. Couldn't really get to him because he was wasn't really exposed to the foam adhesive. Cute. Okay, the sentiment is the last piece. I'm gonna add some foam adhesive to the back side of that as well. Grab my sentiment strips, or my foam adhesive strips. The sentiment is just big enough, just barely wide enough. There's some parts of it that are not, but for the most part, it's just wide enough for this 1/8 of an inch foam strip. If you find it tricky, you could always stack, die cut a bunch of blank unstamped cardstock strips or cardstock die cuts of this sentiment, and then just stack it. So stack the die cut, basically. It's another way to add dimension with that when something's very thin, and very easy to do actually when you have die cuts or you have dies. But I find the foam adhesive even easier, so that's why I'm opting for that. Even though it's a bit fiddly, I still think it's a little bit easier. Okay, that's all. I got foam adhesive on the back side. Stick it down. All right. Oop, and our sunglasses. They need a little bit of glue. Maybe even the hat can have a little bit. Any places that you feel like it's not quite stuck down as much as you'd like. I'm going to adjust this one. Have it pop out a little bit more. cute. Okay, I love that. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. All finished. Our fun little beachy scene with our beautiful Copic colored images. And again, I love that description. It's everything you need for a picnic at like a festival. So nice. Especially you guys who have nice weather. Okay, let's move on to card number 2, which we're almost done since we did so much of it earlier. This is the bonus card. See, our panel is dry. Wax is nice and dry. I'm going to stick it back down. That adhesive that I put on the back is still sticky, so I'm going to stick it down. It's a little warped, but I think we can fix it mostly when we die cut it out. Kind of flatten it a little bit. But let's do our final bit of stenciling to this, which is adding the flower centers. So you need stencil number 2, and you'll need stencil number 4, that back stencil. Now I didn't clean mine, so I got to give it a quick clean. So I'm just going to place it down and get that green off of there. I'm going to use this guy again. So this is another great use of this. And I'm going to use alcohol. That does a great job cleaning stencils. And your scrubber does a great job cleaning stencils. Great for stamps and stencils. And then just dry it off. And that is ready for our panel. Stick that down. Starting with stencil number 2. So line it up to the flower centers. Look through your stencil. Should be pretty easy to do. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. Just over those flowers. Grab my pieces of tape. This gets ink blended with Butter Bar, our lighter of our 2 yellows. I gotta figure out where I put my blending brush. I think I threw it back here. Nope. We're gonna use this one. Okay. Hold that down. And just ink blend over, just like you would do it on cardstock. But now you're ink blending on top of that white hero wax. Now it's nice and dry. So we're not damaging our brush or stencil. Ooh, Dawn spray. Is that what you use to clean your stencils? It's at the beginning, Barbara. When you can watch this on replay and you can check it out if you missed it. That's the nice thing about replay. Ooh, look at that. I'll hold you the camera so you can get a good look. Just put it aside for a second. You see the yellow in the centers? Isn't that so cool? And it's even still shiny. Like that yellow now looks kind of like that metallic look. Okay, for the very, very center of the flowers, which is stencil 4, we're going to place this down. Line it up again. This is the easier one to line up because you can just use the leaf veins that you did earlier to kind of help you. Position this back over your panel. Okay, and this one we're going with fawn, that dark yellow tan kind of color. The color I should have probably just stuck with when I ink blended this panel here. I should have just stuck with fawn, but I went with more colors. Where did it go though? Where did my fawn go? I've lost it. Here it is, way over here. Okay. So fawn. I know, isn't it cool, Cassie, that you can do that? I'll load up my brush here. And then ink blend those centers. And I am getting a little bit of this over the leaves. I'm not worried about it. It's okay if this goes onto the green. Just make them look a little olivey. It won't really, they'll still look green. Okay, I think I got enough of that fawn on there. Oh yeah. And it's subtle, but there is contrast, and I'll hold it up to the camera so you can see. Oh, yay! Barbara says, today I made the flower card from the Crop and Create class. Scrapbook cards in today class. If you haven't done a Crop and Create, guys, they're amazing. You should check them out. They're by Scrapbook and Cards Today. And they're just really, really great events. They're virtual events. You get so much in your kits. They're really, really awesome. And Hero Arts had a really beautiful die set and stencils that was in the last one. Very, very cool. Yeah, they're really great events. Check them out. If you haven't ever attended one, because they really are. Catherine, who runs them, they're so well done, and like I said, you get so much. So here is that. You can see the centers are a little bit darker. I didn't do the bestest job lining it up, but I think it's okay. Rosie says, I still haven't finished the 4 of the classes. I know there's a lot of classes. You get a whole booklet full of classes. They're very packed events, and like I said, again, really, really well done. Okay. I'm going to attempt to die cut this out. Hopefully it'll straighten it out a little bit, takes away some of the warped. It's not quite centered. It's not too bad though. I don't think I did that bad of a job getting it centered. Linda says, I haven't finished the Weekender cards. I know, it's a lot. They're a lot, but they're fun. I gotta get my dies. Let's start looking for my dies. Okay, so we're gonna use some Hero Arts Infinity Nesting dies. I'm gonna use the second largest one to die cut this down, center it a little bit here. Better. Let's use some tape to hold it in place. We are off. We gotta do a little bit better here. Let's try again. All right, I think we're good there. Tape it a couple more times just to be extra sure. Oh, thanks, Rosie, for helping Marianne out. Yeah, definitely check them out, Marianne. They're so cool. All right, so I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine. There's products from lots of different stamp companies, not just Hero Arts, Spellbinders, of course, as well as, I think, Pink and Main, which is an awesome company. Tailored Expressions, I think, even. Just tons of companies participate in it. Gina K participates in it. It's a really cool event. The only one I can think of where it combines lots of different companies like that, which is, I think, really fun. All right. Okay, not bad. I think I did okay. Yeah, Bruce Monroe. Thanks, Rosie. Oh yeah, Concord and Ninth, of course. And the Lunch and Learns. Yes, we have a Lunch and Learn coming up. I'm not sure when, but we do have a Lunch and Learn coming up, and it's going to be really good, you guys. The products are so cute, and I can't wait till you see them. So check that out. And that's, again, Lunch and Learn. If you're not familiar with that, that's Scrapbook and Cards Today, too. So go to their website, check that out for sure. All right, I have a card base. I will stick it to the card base because I'll put weight on it and let it kind of flatten out a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty, though. Okay, liquid glue. Stick that down, and then we'll work on our sentiment because that's the last thing we have for this card. And this will dry, hopefully get nice and flat with a little weight on top. Grab my Shared Handmade Kindness, so handy. Okay, and let's stamp our sentiment. So I'm actually going to use it. You could totally use the sentiment from the card kit, from that Fun in the Sunset, or Summer State of Mind. That's what it's called, Summer State of Mind stamps that we used for our first card. But I'm actually going to pull a sentiment from the clear or Stampin' Cut of the month for June, which is one of my favorites. I would have done this set for today's Stampin' Craft, but I didn't because I did already create a card with it live for the spotlight overview of the June Hero Studio release. So if you want to see this stamp set in action, check that out if you haven't seen that already. I do create a whole card towards the end of the live. I show all the products in that live from the June Hero Studio release, which is the products we've been using today. And then at the end, I make a card and I use this set and I love it so much. It's such a good set. Look at it. It's so good. I'm just going to pull this set out right now because I'm just going to use a sentiment from that set. I'm using the One Day at a Time. But it is a Stampin' Cut, so it means it comes with the clear with the dies. And then again, you can see this is an awesome two-step stamp set, which I love. Such a good one. Okay, and let's see. We're going to grab our black. This is just a scrap of black here. That will work. And, I still need more room. You have to move out of the way even more. We'll pop our sentiment here. We're going to do some heat embossing, so I will put down some anti-static powder. And then I'll ink it up in, since we're doing white embossing powder, I'm going to use Hero Art's Unicorn Pigment Ink. There's never enough room. Brennan, how are you doing, my friend? Are you going to be, I was thinking about asking you, are you going to be coming down to Vegas? Are you coming down? Am I going to get to see you again, friend? I hope so. First time I met Brennan was over at Craft Utopia. And that's happening next week. Yee! I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But that's just between you and me. Oh no, Brennan, I'm so sad. Okay. All right, friend. Well, I'm bummed that you're not coming. I was thinking, oh, maybe Brennan will be there. Oh, Rosie, I wish you could go. I wish you could. Now, if you're not familiar with Craft Utopia, it's for retailers, friends. It's not for us card makers, really. It's for your wonderful local card making stamp shops to come, for those wonderful retailers to come and pick out products and learn tips and tricks from us. So it is eventually for you, but it's first going to go to, it's really a retailer event. There's not regular card makers, just regular card makers there to kind of demo things and help instruct the store owners on how to use products. So it's not like creativation of days of old where us card makers got to get together, but it's still a fun event because I do get to see some of my card making friends that I don't normally get to see. I'm going to heat set this real quick. Brennan, it's worth a try. It is worth a try. All right. Gotta cut this out. Again, love that there's coordinating dies for the sentiment. Just makes it so much easier. And you get such a nice professional look when you have those coordinating dies. So keep them coming. I want them every time, all the time, even when it doesn't make sense. I want to die for that sentiment. Even if it's 2, I still want to die for that sentiment. Okay. And that was the last bit. Yes, follow the retailers. Exactly. And actually, I was going to say, that was going to be my little tip, that if you do want to try to come to these kind of retailer-only events, if you can make friends with a retailer, they may take you along, and they may even ask you to go to a class for them, because there's a lot of classes, and retailers have a hard time attending all of them. In fact, they can't attend all of them because some of them are happening at the same time as another class. So there's no way for them to attend all the classes. So they'll send helpers to come and attend the classes. So yeah, if that's even a possibility, first of all, if you do have a store near you, a card making store near you, you're so lucky. Please go check them out, because they are doing amazing, fun things there. And that's all in person, which is, we never get enough of that, right? I dropped the die. And then if you can become friends with the store owner, they may take you, which would be cool, cool, cool. Shopbox. Yes. Oh my gosh. Shopbox. I don't know if we're continuing to do Shopbox, but yeah, Shopbox was such a good thing for retailers. I think we're still trying to figure it out. It's not like completely gone away, but with all the changes, it's just, we're still slowly trying to figure out how it looks now, how these programs look now. One of them is Stamp Along, which I know I have some Stamp Along attendees here. That's not going away. It's coming. It's coming. We're working on it. It's just takes longer than we are used to. Okay. Foam adhesive on the back of this. I have some black foam adhesive strips. Oops. That's what I want to use. Yes, I know. It was one of my favorite things too, Rosie. I really did like the Shopbox. And if you're not familiar with Shopbox, no worries. It's really a retailer thing, but it was a way for retailers to get our collections, because we would do big catalog releases and tons of products in those releases. And we'd picked out a curated collection from that big release, and the store owners would get those products first. In fact, they'd get them several months before we would sell them on our website. It was a program to promote people to go to their local retail stores to get those products first. And so it was a really nice program. I really liked doing something that was, exclusive for store owners. But Spellbinders does a lot of that stuff. They do a lot of exclusive things for store owners. So that won't go away. We just try to figure out how we do it now. That's all. And how we do it a hero way, But yeah, if you have a local card making store near you, definitely treasure it. Okay, we're almost done here. Right. Oh yeah, it's totally true, Linda. You could create with it first and then inspire people online. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an added like bonus. Okay, removing the foam adhesive backing. I love this black. I love doing a black sentiment strip with black foam adhesive. I just feel like it's so fancy. Okay, and I think you guys are true ones, sticking around to the very end. And you get rewarded with the peek at the next month's kit, which is extra early this month. In fact, I hope I'm not breaking any rules. Sorry if I am breaking the rules. But it's for you guys. It's okay. All right. There we go. All done. So pretty. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Such a pretty layering stencil set. And I love the idea of using white hero wax. And the fact that you can do the centers is just like the added bonus. Even though you guys saw it with just the white hero wax and we didn't do anything to the centers, it still looks super pretty. So such a fun set. Okay, so these are our two finished. It's a mess back here, but I have my July kit nice and safe. But here's our two finished cards. Very, very fun, super pretty. Love our Copic coloring, love the palette, and love that layering set. Such a fun July. And that was that was the June layering stencil of the month. This is the June card kit, which is still available. So these are still available. So what I'm going to show you right now is not available yet. This is the July card kit. So this is the July card kit. It's coming out July 1st, but you can actually place your orders the 20th. So that's coming soon, but it's not out yet. And let me grab it here. Now, I don't have all my samples that I normally have. I usually maybe show you a card sample, but I do have a photo that I can show you of my card sample. Okay, so first product that I'm going to show you is an awesome die set. Now, this is a big die set. There's a lot of dies to this. And this die set creates an incredible, the whole theme is like a road trip with your friends. And this creates like the actual car, sitting in the dash. So here's your dash, steering wheel, rear view mirror, vents and things, lots of parts to decorate. And it's A2 size, so it's 4 1/4 across. Kind of see all the details there. There's this stick shift or changing gears. So that's part of the die. Now that's only part of this huge die set. Here's the second part. We have this awesome additional dies that kind of fill in the scene a little bit more. So you have like a driver. This is kind of arms that could be for the driver, some legs that propped up, up on the dash. Actually, it'd be over here. And then fun things to decorate, sunglasses, a cup of coffee, of course. Yes, it's so huge, Rosie, right? A cassette tape. I love that. So this is we're in the past. Fuzzy dice, the little air freshener. Super fun. But that's not all. And this is where you guys are going to lose your minds. The next thing is, I know, going to be a favorite, and I just want to pop over to my notes because I want to see the right words for it. I want to call it the right name if it has a name. Oh, yeah. Here we go. So these are the Let's Go die set. Both these dies are part of that big die set. And I'm going to put them over here. I'll put it like that. The next product is a Heroscape. This is the On the Road Heroscape. It's a 6x8 Heroscape, so a large set. It creates a beautiful scene that you can actually position in the front in your windshield here of your destination you're heading to. It has a road, this layered scene, because we love our Heroscape sets because they create this awesome layered scene just by stamping these layers in different colors. Pop back over to my thing. So isn't that so cool? And you can see mine's already well loved and used. There's some sentiments in this, but yay, I love that we have a Heroscape, another Heroscape, because they're so fun and they can be combined with other, like this awesome die set comes with a Heroscape for the July card kit. So this is all still part of the July card kit, but this set here, especially this die set, really could be used with older Heroscapes. You can use those landscapes and just put them here in the windshield instead of this one. Is that so fun, right? Like, I think that unlocks so many possibilities with this die set, takes it really beyond just this Hero Studio release. So really, really cool. So there is also a coordinating die for this Heroscape. Let me grab it here. So here's the coordinating die, dies for all the sentiments. We love that. Dies for this moon and sun, so you can make this landscape a daytime setting, nighttime setting. Then you have dies to die cut out the scene elements. This one actually cuts out the very top of the sky. This one cuts out the very bottom of the landscape. And I will show you a card in just a second here to kind of help you understand. I know it's kind of hard to kind of figure out landscapes. Questions. Do the other monthly options keep with the theme? Yes. This is July. So the rest of July is going to be the same kind of theme, like road trip kind of theme. So yes. Time to get oldies, right? I know. I want to do that. I think it'd be so fun to put that, especially to use those Heroscapes in a new way. Like, we've never had the ability to kind of create like this scene from inside a car looking out, that because you need all this die, and there's no product like that Hero has made before. So this is going to be really cool with all Heroscapes. So very exciting. So that die goes with this, but that's not all. There is more for the July card kit. There is pattern paper. I'm not pattern paper. Blip. Retract. There is colored cardstock. There are 10 sheets, 10 half sheets, so 5.5 by 8.5, 10 half sheets of beautiful colored cardstocks that are so fun. And I'm going to have a video out where I show you actually a card that I create with the card kit and using some of the colors from this palette. And I think it's really fun. And so that's really awesome. I love the colors. I'm trying to do it in a way where you can see them. We'll just do it something like this. So we have that, all those colors. And then there's even a 8.5 by 11, so not 8.5 by 11, 5.5 by 8.5, so another half sheet of mirrored cardstock. So very, very good for a lot of the elements in the car, in the dash, like the rear view mirror, the knobs and things, definitely even the stick shift, so that's handy. These are, Vicki, these are Spellbinders cardstocks. They're Spellbinders cardstocks. Oh, the Ocean Heroscape. Yes, Rosie, yes. And then there's one last thing. Also included is a ink cube of pine ink. And this is Hero Arts Core ink. Mine's old. You'll have a new one, a brand new one. So it'll look a little bit different, but it's a beautiful green color, which actually we use today in this live. It's a green that I use a lot of. So very, very nice for some of the elements like the cactus in this kit. So really, really great. Let me show you one finished card so you can kind of see the how they work together. Let me pop over to my, all right. So Here's a card I have. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's see if I can. Nope. I have to do it this way. Sorry, guys. I know that's not the best picture. I usually have it mounted onto another background, but I can't do that right now. But there you go. That is the background. That's the card. And you can see on this card, you can see the whole dash cut out and arranged with several of the other die cuts, like the arms and the legs and the cassette. And then you can even see in the windshield the Heroscape stamped out. So very, very cool. I think this is going to be such a fun set to play with. Lots of potential. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at that. Let me put that away real quick. And then I've been having a lot of fun. Back to the comments. I've been having a lot of fun playing with this set. And I have a lot of cards coming. So I think you guys are going to have a lot of fun too. Oh, matte paper. That's such a good idea, Vicki. We probably have a cling that might work. We might have a cling that we've already made that might work. But there's a lot of fun things. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this sneak peek, which is really kind of, you got a complete look at the July card kit. This is, again, coming out July 1st, but you can place your orders for it. If you're already a subscriber to Hero Arts, Hero Studio Card Kit of the Month, then you're golden, you're ready to go. But if you do see this kit and you're not currently a subscriber and you want to get it, you need to subscribe by, they open up you can start subscribing by I think the 20, we'll say 27th to be safe. I always get the 20, is it the 20th? That's when the sneak peeks start. 27th for sure. And you can order through the whole month of July pretty much as well. So you can order it then. But if we do sell out, we sell out. So definitely better to place your order earlier so you can make sure you get it. But it's a really, really fun set, and I think there's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Vicki, I do think this is going to be a good one. All right, guys. Bye, Brennan. I'll talk to you later, friend. And thanks, Rosie, for coming in, being my company, and all the rest of you guys, Linda, Brenda, Cheryl, thank you guys so much. Crystal, thank you guys. Barbara, thank you guys for hanging out with me. Let me switch to my other view real quick and sign out. Hope you enjoyed creating those two cards with the June card kit and the June Layering Stencils, as well as that fun sneak peek at the upcoming July card kit of the month. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. I will actually be, real quick before I leave, I will be going live again. There's one more time I'm going live. Friday, same time. This Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Flip that around. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. There we go. I'll be going live with two new collections. So we have two new collections. These are collections outside of the Hero Studio. So these are non-subscription collections. These are coming out on Friday. So really excited about that. It's Retro Kitchen and What's Brewing. You can actually go check out the products right now on the Hero Arts. If you go to What's New, you can check it out there. I think it's What's New or What's Coming, one of the two. But this is just releasing in a couple days. I will be doing a live, just kind of like my typical spotlights, where I'll go over all the products in those two collections and hopefully create a little bit with some of those products. So I'll share a bunch of inspiration. So a bunch of cards that I created, a bunch of cards from the creative team. And I hope you guys can join me. So this Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you then. Bye, everybody. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.